Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with One Punch Man. Last time on One Punch Man, we had the terrifying city, where Saitama had to go out and try to capture some villains, at least one, because Class C heroes have to capture at least one villain a week or else they get booted out. Luckily, he ran into Speedo Sound Sonic, who really wanted to fight, and so became the villain, who was easily defeated, but still, he was turned in, and so Saitama kept his job. Meanwhile, a couple Class A heroes were sent to investigate the abandoned section of City Z, because it's possible that there are monsters going there. And then they encountered a monster who was going there because he heard that other monsters were there. But in reality, the only reason people don't live there is because Saitama lives there, and nobody wants to be around him, definitely. And all the monsters that show up there die. And the people are tired of monster attacks, so they left. And it's just Saitama and Genos, but nobody realizes this, so yeah. All in all, pretty fun, and it's also interesting that pretty much everyone is going to converge on Saitama's house just because he exists, basically, so yeah. But that was pretty much it. Another great episode, and yeah. This is where I say no spoilers. This is also where I say if you want to watch my reaction to this episode of One Punch Man, what you gotta do is head down in the description or to the pinned comment, click on the link there. That will take you over to the reaction. You can watch it just like any normal reaction, and when you're done with that, you can pop it right back over here to this video for the discussion. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into this episode of One Punch Man. Here we go. Alrighty. Man, that was a crazy, a one-off episode, wasn't it? That really had nothing to do with anything, but I liked it. Okay. We can hop into the notes on this one. I first wrote down aliens, but I scratched it off and wrote meteor. That was interesting. Now, a meteor striking the planet, and it's like, oh yeah, it's a level dragon. Like, oh, okay. And, they explain it later, but yeah, that was really interesting. Just an interesting plot, and obviously, you're just sitting here waiting for Saitama to go punch it. But I liked it. It was a nice. Again, it was very much a one-off sort of thing. Like, we've had sort of a continual story for a little while, but that was just this happens. Okay, cool. And then we had the evacuation, which was interesting. Because again, at first I was like, wait, it's a meteor. Wouldn't it destroy the entire planet? It's like, oh, well, no, it's just hitting these cities. But it would hit multiple cities, so it's not possible to get people out of there. I wrote down arms mode, which was pretty cool. Again, Genos getting some more firepower. Which again, it's like, Genos gets more firepower, and it does nothing, and then Saitama just comes in with his one friggin' punch, and there you go. So I did like that. Even when he took it, which this is kind of interesting too. He took out his power core and then put it into his arm and then blasted. It's like, well, wait, if the power core is already inside you, wouldn't that already be, just blasting through? Like, I don't know. I guess, you don't need to think too hard about that, but I just thought that was kind of interesting. Like, wait, you're taking out your own power core, which already powers your arm so that you can power your arm. Like, unless it's so that it would pretty much put everything. It's like, it's like if on on sci-fi when they when it's like reroute all power except life support. It's like we are putting everything except the most basic function into this so that it'll have enough power to work. It could be that, actually, now that I think about it. So yeah. We were introduced to two Class S heroes, Silverfang, who was ranked at number 3, which was pretty cool. Yeah, I liked him. He was really interesting. I liked, this more seasoned hero. It definitely brought a great perspective, and definitely great for... definitely worked well off of Genos. He immediately it's like, the old master. Like, I like that. Now, okay, here's something I gotta say. It's like, oh, I have a fighting dojo here that's been in my family for generations. I'm not leaving. And it's like, I hate when people say stuff like that, I hate when people say stuff like that, when it's like, oh, no, I will stay here and most likely die because I will not leave our home. And it's like, go! What are you doing? The house doesn't matter. It's, I don't know, I've never understood that mentality. I don't know, maybe, I don't know if any of you guys have that mentality, maybe you can fill me in on what I'm missing, but I don't understand that mentality where it's like, no, I will stay here and die because this is the house where I raised my children or whatever. It's like, yeah, well, your children aren't here. Your children want you to survive. So don't stay on a sinking ship. Like, if it's, now, to that end, a sinking ship, if it's like, you know, I don't know, the Titanic or something, it's like, no, you guys go, be sure, you know, there's enough room if I stay behind. That I understand, but that's entirely different. That's sacrificing yourself. Stuff like that, where it's like, oh, I have a dojo that's been in my family for generations. I'm not leaving. I'll die here if I have to. It's like, no, go, leave, set up a new dojo. What are you doing? Don't just resign yourself to death because my apartment is over here and I really like it. Like, no, just go. I don't know. I don't understand people like that. I just do not understand. Just go, live. You know, just remember the place you had and go make new memories somewhere else, you know? I don't get it. I don't get that. I don't get it. Anyway, we also got Metal Knight. Who I just want to call him Meta Knight, but whatever. But yeah, Metal Knight, who kind of Tony Starked it, where it's like, he's not even here, you know? Okay, so 3 Class S heroes showed up to this meteor. Genos, who was, you know, in the area, the Silverfang, who showed up, but, well, okay, the only reason he was there was because of his stupid dojo. No one cares, just go and live. Anyway, but he was there because of his dojo, and then, but we don't even know, like, what he does, you know, like, he wasn't really there to stop the meteor, whereas Genos was, and Metal Knight, he was just there to test out his weapons. Oh, go to hell. Don't even with that, like, I'm not here to help, I'm just here to test my weapons. This would be a great test. It's like, people are going to die, what are you doing? Like, what kind of hero are you, you know? Genos is out here, not because he lives here, but because people are going to die if he doesn't destroy that meteor, you know? Saitama is the same way. Just get out of here, Metal Knight, you suck. But yeah. But Silverfang, I like Silverfang, just the evacuation thing is stupid. And then, yeah, the core power thing was pretty interesting, and it's also interesting that, you know, like, that didn't do anything, you know? Like, that didn't do a thing to that meteor. Like, it just nothing. But, of course, Saitama comes in with his one stupid punch. He comes in with his one punch, and it's good. But, of course, we know that. But the fact that Genos didn't do anything, he didn't even scratch that meteor with all his power, that is ridiculous, you know? That is ridiculous. So, but I love it. I still love it, you know? I just love any time, like, they can show how powerful Saitama really is, you know? And yeah, hit one punch, all you need. Love it. We had the destruction. Now, you know, they were talking about, like, oh, well, there's all this destruction in City Z, but, you know, no one died. Okay, so let's look on the positive side. Nobody died. We were going to, you know, lose like 3 cities worth of people. And instead, we lost some buildings instead. Oh no. Like, look, I get it. Disasters are rough. But you were saved from death, you know? And it's interesting, too, because Genos, in episode 2, when we first meet him and he fights the Mosquito Girl, you know, he does this, like, huge move that, like, destroys, like, 5 blocks, but nobody's there. He specifically is like, okay, no one's here. I made sure that nobody is in the area before I did this attack, and no one cared. No one cared. Meanwhile, Saitama saves everybody's life, like saves everyone's lives. Oh, but he destroyed my car. It's like, oh, come on. Now, the thing, though, is that it was definitely propped up by the Tank Top brothers because they were stoking the fire. You know, it's like, I would imagine everyone just sort of had their frustrations about it, and then it's just that, you know, like, this wouldn't have happened if the Tiger brothers didn't, you know, stoke the flames, basically. So, yeah. And then, obviously, it's like, okay, now the next part of our plan is to beat him up. And it's like, hey, just get out of here. I love to, when, you know, he's holding the one guy's hand. He's like, oh, stop, you're crushing my hand and stuff. And he's like, oh, sorry, I thought I was just holding it. It's like, he doesn't even realize. Like, I thought that was really funny. So, yeah. And, these heroes kind of suck, man. You know, it's like, it's interesting that it's like, you know, Saitama is like a legitimate hero, and you can honestly, like, if you compare this to like MHA, he's kind of like All Might, where it's like, no, this guy is a legitimate hero, and everyone else tries to be like him. Except, obviously, there are personality differences between Saitama and All Might. But in this universe, the only person trying to be, you know, trying to hold themselves to that, you know, that level, that bar, trying to hold them to the standard of a true hero, the only person doing that is Genos. No one else does that. Metal Knight? No. Silverfang, I mean, we don't really know because he didn't do that much. But Silverfang, But Metal Knight, definitely no. The Tank Top brothers, no. They don't care. Like, just a lot of it's interesting just how many of them. Now, granted, I guess we haven't seen too many of them, and we have seen a couple of them actually be heroes. But yeah, it's like, what's with these sucky heroes? You know, it's like, we really only have one sucky hero on MHA, Endeavor. And even still, he's a hero. He goes in and does his job. He's just a dick about it, you know? So, anyway. We did have that Saitama's up to rank 5 in Class C, which is pretty cool. And I think they said Genos also jumped up a little bit, so that's pretty cool. I like that. And then I did like what Saitama said about like being a hero. Let me see if I can go back to that real quick.
I had no idea. I believe that heroes normally take these threat levels into consideration when deciding whether or not to respond to a call.
Yeah. It was about the threat levels, like, oh, well, they consider the threat level, like, because even, you know, Dragon, the second worst level, and, like, no one showed up. No one except Genos showed up. Metal Knight, he was only there just to test out his crap. Silverfang was there because he has his stupid dojo that nobody cares about. Like, it's just, that's just horrible. But Saitama doesn't care.
I guess such things do not matter to you.
Well, of course they don't. If heroes run away, who's left to help?
I like that. If heroes run away, then who's left to help? It's like, yeah, heroes, do your job. Like, are you kidding? So, yeah. And we also, the other thing for Silverfang, you know, we're like, oh, well, you know, he was just here because his dojo's here. But I don't know if he really could have done anything. We don't really know, like, if he has powers or his abilities or anything like that. But at the very least, I guess he was there for moral support, basically, to Genos. So, yeah. And then the whole thing with the public, you know, public shaming, which is interesting. And it's also interesting, it's like Saitama doesn't care, but it slightly bothers him, you know? But, I mean, it was just mob mentality, you know? But yeah, he did start, it is good that he started like, hey, you know, you're alive. If you have a complaint, tell it to the meteor that was about to murder you. You know, I don't know what to tell you, man. So, granted, again, his approach may have been a little yelly, but still. this was a really great episode. I really enjoyed it. And I'm curious to see where we're going next time. But yeah. Would you stay in your house or whatever that's been in your family for generations if it meant that you were 100% going to die? Tell me down in the comments, and I don't know. I'll try not to bash you, I guess. I just don't understand it. I just do not understand. Maybe someone can enlighten me, but if I was told, because I've been living in the same house for years, like really long time, and if someone was like, hey, if you stay in this house, you're going to die for whatever reason, but all you have to do is just leave and you're good. You know, it's like, like if someone was like, oh, there's going to be a meteor, like a small meteor, like a car, basically. A car is going to descend from heaven and destroy your house, and if you're inside there, you're going to die. I would just be like, all right, bye. Let me just grab some of my stuff. I'm out. Bye. Done. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe some of you guys can enlighten me, but I don't get it. So yeah. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my One Punch Man reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.